So this is a quick little tech video to make this easier for Aaron to put this Vance and Hines dual outlet header on to his 2011 Hayabusa. This is coming off my 14 model. So a couple of things. You don't need to necessarily drain the fluid. The radiator will not contact the front fender. There's brake lines and stuff holding it out of the way. All the cables are long enough. You simply remove this 10 millimeter, the same one on the other side. If you look in here, there's one 10 millimeter bolt right there. And then there's one down here. All four of them are exactly the same height, same thread pitch. You don't have to worry about mixing them up. Now, one technical thing here on this particular oil line, there is no way to rotate it to where you need to. And there is a slight clearance issue right here. You really can't adjust it in any way. So what I found is with the header out of the way, I was able to take a pair of channel locks, or not so much, yeah, channel locks. And I put some heavy cardboard in there and I opened it up. And I just gently ovalized the line right in the area. So I had about 1 to 1.5 millimeters of air gap, which is more than sufficient. It's not going to boil the oil or anything like that. Everything is just fine. So that's only, you know, maybe 45 seconds to a minute to do that mod with this header out of the way. A couple other things to note, depending on if your Vance and Hines CS1s came with it. This little hole, which is kind of hard to see right here, is for one of these. This just simply goes in to the Yoshimura slip-on right there, and it prevents the slip-on, if the clamp comes slightly loose or something like that, from falling out, because the pin is basically going through the header portion, and then the clamp goes over the top of it and holds it in place. This is something that comes with Yoshimura slip-ons. I'm not sure if the Vance and Hines will have that, but that's what those little holes are for. One on each side right there. Couple other things too. No matter mild adjustment here, you can see the bracket that hangs down from the factory to support this. For my slightly lowered exhaust, which you probably won't need this, I added a 2 millimeter spacer to kind of bring the header down, so it changed the angle of everything to work with my Gibby bags. Of course, you don't have that, but these are all options in the future that you can use to do it. And the header gaskets are reusable. They're nice and thick. I'll pause the video and then I'll take the header off and kind of go over everything else. So we're going to continue on again here. This is just simply a 1/4 inch ratchet. This is snap-on. You don't have to have snap-on. What I'm using here is a 1/4 inch to 3/8 adapter, a 3/8 wobbler, so you know what a wobbler looks like. It allows the socket to kind of wobble around. It's not fixed perfectly straight. And then just a 6 millimeter Allen. Now if you can, just get a 6 millimeter Allen that's kind of semi-long, that's 1/4 inch drive. You'll have more room. So we'll put this back on, and I'll see if I can hold the camera and work with one on the other side. The top ones are all going to be pretty easy to get to. It's the bottom ones that are the fun. So I'm going to set the camera down for just a second. I'm going to be looking at the floor. My hydraulic hose broke today on my lift, so I'll be ordering a new hose. So as you can see, you don't have a lot of clearance in there. It's all the way in and it's there, but it's not bad. When I was telling you on the phone today, a 12 millimeter swivel 6-point like this 1/4 inch drive with the long extension. That's actually for the ZRX, that bike over there. So sometimes I get which bike and stuff confused. So we're going to pause again for a second, because this kind of takes two hands to do. Back again, just another little tip. On cylinder 2 and 3, which is your two middle cylinders, the bolts underneath the header, you cannot get that 6mm 3/8 drive. It's just a little too wide, and it hits the radius of the pipe right in there where my index finger's pointing. You can't get the head in there, so you just gotta take your time and basically a 6mm, just a standard little short Allen key. Now I've gotten all the bolts loose, including the back one. The collets are down. As you can see, the header's nice and loose. We're just gonna walk it off at each header hole, cylinder hole I mean. Now be careful with the collets, because if you're not going to completely remove the radiator and oil cooler out of the way, they can be raked down your fins and damage them. Now, this is where a good quality spring puller online comes in handy. You can pull these or put these on whenever you've got the header up there. There's a lot of adjustment. But what I'm doing right now is I'm just gently rolling them out of the way so that I can get it out. And it looks like it's been a minute since I've done this. See, it's quite the juggling act. Probably having two people will be very helpful for that part. There's a complete header. So a couple notes about this, that the original owner, he'd gone through a lot of trouble with some orange exhaust silicone RTV to seal up the holes. The fit and finish, the manufacturers, they make it a little bit loose. And what I had done to make everything tight, there's about probably 7,000-8,000 miles with this on my bike. Just a simple expander tool. I gently made all these fittings fit perfectly. As you can see, there are no black exhaust leaks. There will be no need to put any orange RTV on this header collector when you assemble this. And Aaron, if you wonder what it weighs, 7 pounds 5 ounces complete header with all the springs. Last little note, you saw me wiggle that header out pretty difficult on the bottom. You just remove these two 10mm, this L bracket. You won't have to fight it as bad as I did. You could do the same thing with this one as well, but this one will be a little bit more difficult to get back in once the header's in place. The gaskets, you don't have to worry about them falling out. They have a nice little flange that holds them in place. It's like a little tooth. So you're good, Aaron. Talk to you later.